Today we're reviewing two tennis rackets, the Head Speed Lite and the Head Speed Elite, and these two rackets are good for intermediate players. Now these rackets use a technology called Youtek, and the idea is that the rackets are going to react to what you are doing. Most tennis rackets, and this doesn't matter if we're talking about wood, aluminum, carbon fiber, graphite, whatever, the harder you swing, the harder the collision with the tennis ball, the more the frames are going to bend at contact. The softer you swing, the less the frames are going to bend. Well, this Youtek technology does the opposite. The harder you swing, the stiffer the frame becomes, the less it bends at contact. And the softer you swing, the more it's going to bend. And the idea behind this technology is that if you want to hit hard, you're going to be swinging a little bit faster. Frame stiffens up, bends less, and that allows you to hit harder. But then if you want a little extra feel, a little extra control, and you swing softer, the frame is going to bend a little bit more, absorb more of the ball's energy so that it's easier to control. Now what we're going to do is head to the tennis court, and I'm going to hit with these two rackets. What I've done is I've modified my technique slightly. I've dropped my racket head speed down a little bit and made my technique more in line with what you would see at the intermediate level. This is what my normal forehand looks like, and this is the technique I use to hit with this racket because, again, this technique is going to be more in line with that intermediate level player. Right now I'm hitting with the Head Speed Lite, and the racket has a head size of 102 square inches. It's evenly balanced, and it's a relatively light racket. It's 9.2 ounces, and it was a very easy racket to swing in part because it doesn't weigh very much. So if you like a racket that's easy to swing, you'll like this racket. And it was also very easy to generate spin because it has something called an open string pattern, which makes it easier to hit with topspin, backspin, whatever. Now I'm hitting with the Head Speed Elite. And this racket is pretty similar to the Lite. There are a couple differences. First of all, the head size a little bit smaller, 100 square inches. It's a little bit heavier. It's 10.1 ounces unstrung. But I found these rackets to be pretty similar. The Elite was also very easy to swing, very easy to generate topspin with because it also has that open string pattern. So the main difference I found between these rackets was really the weighting. The Elite is a little bit heavier, almost an ounce heavier than the Lite, but again, both rackets very easy to swing. So what type of player would these two rackets be good for? The Head Speed Lite and the Head Speed Elite. Well, if you're the type of player that likes a racket that's on the lighter side, that's easy to swing, that has a pretty big sweet spot, and a racket that's easy to generate spin with, then I would recommend you demo these two rackets. From a coach's perspective, I also think these rackets would be good for a player who's still working on their fundamental technique on the forehand, the backhand, and the serve. What you want in those situations is a racket you don't have to fight, so to speak. A racket that'll give you some pace and some spin without you having to work too hard, because you want to be focusing on your mechanics to make sure that you're doing all the fundamental things necessary to hit those shots properly. But you don't want a racket where you have to feel like you have to swing hard to get pace or to get spin. And again, these rackets are easy to swing. They don't make you work real hard, so you can focus on your technique and not have to worry if the racket is holding up its end of the bargain. So if you're interested in demoing one of these rackets, there's a link on this page that'll take you to them. And if you own one of these sticks, please post your comments and your feedback below and let us know what you think about these rackets.